Good afternoon once again, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the semi-final highlights and results for the Race of Champions. A tournament, of course, that started with 16 people, and now with just 2 rounds remaining, it's been whittled down to the final 4, the best 4 in the competition. We start out with Rafa versus Dani ROCs. This is New Zealander versus Australian, boy versus girl, and Ferrari versus Sauber. And of course, with Tifosi on his side, the random grid pole position goes to Rafa, and he takes full advantage of that by maintaining the lead down through the first chicane. And at the second chicane, Dani gets a little bit deep and sideways over the sausage curbs, losing a lot of momentum, and Rafa takes full advantage of that, maintaining his gap for the next 2 laps. And Dani starts to hit her stride through these lesmos on the last lap, catching up a little bit. Of course, she won in PRL, so we know she has the pace, very strong at her home track technically. She has Italian descent. And by Ascari, she's right on the gearbox of Rafa, but he defends to the inside for just 1 corner remaining, and he might be able to hold on here, despite the fact that Dani has a bit of a pace advantage. And yes, to Parabolica, he actually extends his margin a little bit, and across the line to take the first of the 3 races. Dani actually with the fastest lap by quite a margin there, but she has it all to do in the next 2 races, because if she loses just one of them, she's out of the competition. The next round for them is at Australia, and Rafa once again with the random grid pole, this time both drivers in Mercedes powered cars, and the Williams is off in the lead. Halfway through the race, the bollard claims the Mercedes, and Dani looks like she's going to be eliminated from the tournament for all good money by this point. But at the end of that lap, completely inexplicably, Rafa is waiting for her. I thought perhaps I'd missed something I was spectating this race and there might have been lag and he was involved in that bollard collision. But no, it wasn't that, and he was just doing it for the fun of it, I guess, a bit of a battle, and Dani took full advantage of that, taking the lead, and wasn't going to allow him to come back through, and in fact he spun her out at the same corner where she lost control previously by herself, and this time Rafa would have to let her back through, and this late in the race it'd be hard to imagine him getting back past with just 3 or 4 turns left. So he's really sort of gifted this race to Dani on a platter, and she took full advantage of that. No reason for her to be feeling as if she didn't deserve that, because Rafa just, gave up on the race, and he had a penalty as well. So that just goes to show that you never give up in this situation, and that the matchup headed to a 3rd round, and this one was at Belgium, a very exciting track for battles, and Rafa with a very nice move around the outside of La Source, putting his Red Bull this time into the lead. Interesting that the first round they were both Ferrari powered cars, second round was both Mercedes powered cars, and final round both Renault powered cars. A good all-round battle we've got here. And through Eau Rouge and Camel Straight, Dani is getting the slipstream. It doesn't look like it's quite enough to get past Rafa at this early stage of their race. She goes to the outside. Rafa gets a little bit sideways on the curb there. Dani just tucks back in, no contact made at this point. Rafa's very wide there, he's lost it. He's in the wall, and wow, he's losing masses of time at this point. Dani around this corner here, and he's still in the wall. So we're going to have to jump back on board with him, and is he stuck? What's happening here? The marshal doesn't seem very interested in what's going on. He's lost his wing now, so a bit of lag involved in the spectate mode. But yeah, that was really all she wrote. Rafa staying in the wall. Afterwards, he said that he had heard a microwave being dropped in his house and went to investigate. And he lost connection, and that was really it. Dani, as far as she was concerned, had witnessed a car go off and crash. So that meant she was through, and Rafa, stunningly, eliminated. But we move on swiftly to the second semi-final, and that was between yours truly and Stylen, and boy was this a great battle. Huge respect between the two of us, mutual respect, and we also had a battle at Belgium. This time I'm in the Toro Rosso and he is in the Caterham. He's trying to come around the outside here for Lecumbe, and I really didn't want to let him through there because I thought he had a little bit of a pace advantage at this track, and letting him through would just be the death of me. So I managed to defend it there on lap 1, and on lap 2 he tries the other side, the inside at Lake Hume, and I have to outbrake him this time around the outside. We just managed that. It was very close there, no contact though. That's a real theme of our battle, no contact is very important to both Stalin and I. And he got very close there into the bus stop, but ultimately I was able to take a 1-0 advantage into the next round.
Absolutely brilliant. Well done, well done.
Engineer was absolutely right, that was brilliant racing from the both of us. And in the next race, we start behind Stalin, and it's Abu Dhabi, and let's see what happens here. He's gone a bit early into the corner there, he's clipped the bollard, and we've gone straight through that bollard, claiming another victim. And moving on, we seem to have a pretty good gap on the start of the second lap, so it looks for all money like Stalin's going to be eliminated 2-0. But alas, he catches up. I crash into the same bollard he hit on the final lap, and he gets through there, even claiming the fastest lap on that lap. We still have a run of it at him though in this DRS zone. Of course, no DRS in 3-lap races. Don't have quite the grip to get around on the outside there, and losing traction, he retains the lead, and we are just unable to have a crack at him for the rest of the race, and he evens the ledger at 1-1, so we're sending it to a third round, just like the other semi-final. This one, though, was one of the most exciting races you'll ever see in 3 laps with just 2 people, and it was at China. Again, we start behind Stalin, so this will need to be the mother of all races from us. Stalin very quick wherever you go, and he has the advantage of being in front. And what's even worse is that I can't get my patented move around the outside at turn 1 of China, something I do a lot in league races. But that was my main move, planning ahead for this race, and I couldn't get it done. He would put his car in the perfect position, and in fact it was me making the mistakes there, getting a little bit sideways on that final exit curb. And by halfway through the race, just like it looked last time in Abu Dhabi, that Stalin would be out, it looked like I was going to be eliminated as well. But on the last lap, a last-ditch effort was required, and I finally caught him for the first time in the race. And at this point, it's a really do-or-die situation for us. We have to make this move, or we're not getting into the grand final. We've sent it down the inside, we're in first gear. We've actually made the corner somehow, but we've got a little bit tail-heavy on the exit. He's still on our left. We're going to force him as far as we dare to the left, and then sweep out, and then turn in for this final corner. There's a little bit of contact, and he's not going to make it. We're actually going to get it. We've done it.
Awesome, truly awesome. What a win.
Damn right, truly awesome. And the biggest gap between us in all 3 races was 6 tenths. That one, of course, 2 tenths. And that sets up a grand final between Dani and I. If we have a look at the statistics between the two of us, she's actually had less defeats in this tournament and come from behind on more occasions than I have. And based on those few facts, you could possibly say that she's on better 3-lap form than yours truly. So that's it, the die is cast, the final has been finalised, so to speak, and it's boyfriend versus girlfriend. A dream scenario for the two of us. You guys will have to tune in soon for the result of the Race of Champions. I've been Jacko, see you soon.